it basically confirms every single thing that you've been talking about for 23 years or however long you've been on the air, and what the grand plan is. And kind of what started it for me was the disease X that came out not too long ago. All of the hard pushes on the vaccines and the flu shots, all of the electromagnetic
which the studies admit
radiation,
make you get sick and make you more susceptible the next year.
all of the AI technology we were talking about, the blockchain, all of that stuff, it all came together. And as I was looking at, you know, let's piece all this together. We talk about fluoride in the water. We talk about this. We talk about that. But this is the grand plan of things. This is what DARPA, this is the information they hope never gets out.
And we were able to reverse engineer it, but now they now admit it in all their literature exactly as we said.
Exactly.
Because you can see it. Plus, it's always been admitted. It's like Tinker Toys or an erector set or these house kits you can buy that come on the back of an 18-wheeler and you build the house in a week. You see all the pieces. You can look at it. It's like you put more and more of the puzzle pieces in together, and we're not seeing patterns that we want to see. We see the pattern, and the final pieces are going in. This is bigger than the Manhattan Project. There have been New York Times best-selling books written on IBM and the Holocaust. Please write all this down. 5G and hundreds of studies. I'm going to, while Group's talking for TV audience, you'll be able to see it. Radio listeners, you can just search engine everything he says. It'll be right there. 5G, regular 4 and 3G, Associated Press, London Guardian, they have to even admit it because they're telling you, like on the cigarette package, that it'll kill you. They morally have to tell you. But then they just kind of hide it in the back. Wired magazine, brain tumors double. Scientists say it's cell phones. It's directly right where the cell phone is, right where the transmitter is. It's microwave. It raises the brain temperature. That's in the Washington Post. A degree after about 15 minutes. 5Gs are even stronger. And they're in your Connect boxes. They're in your X boxes. There it is, Defense Intelligence Agency. Biological effects of electromagnetic radiation, radio waves, and microwaves. Eurasian communist countries. And they're getting into tests going on in the 50s and 60s with that. So, and it's in the Daily Mail. It's in Popular Mechanics last week, and Popular Science. It's everything I told you word for word.
But one of the things is piecing everything together. And one of the things I found, and we'll publish all this stuff too, is that Dr. Frey with the Office of Naval Research, he injected rats with methylene blue. And methylene blue, so under different types of imaging technologies, you can see where it goes. They use it to find out. And none of the blue crossed the blood-brain barrier. And so when he exposed the rats to pulsed EMF frequencies, even low range in the cellular range, all of a sudden the methylene blue went into the brains of the rats. Now, what does that tell you? What's the grand scheme of things? What's really going on here? That means that you can transport metals, transport nanoparticles into the brain by using EMF frequencies, by using cell phone towers, by using routers, by using cell phones. And not only that, it also increases the permeability of the intestinal lining as well. So when you look at all of the chemicals that are being put in the food supply, the metals, you look at why are they spraying us with chemtrails? You have nanoparticles of aluminum. You can pull that up for the geoengineering. All of these different components, we now know how the EMF component is put into this whole picture, because now we can they can open up the brain, basically bring any type of nanoparticles, metal or whatever they want, into the brain, which can be controlled now with EMF frequencies and with the rollout of 5G and the rollout of all these Y-gig, etc. Not only that, they can now target the oxygen, they can now target the water, they can now target the carbon dioxide. Now, not only that, but you have birds that are dying off everywhere. You have insects that are dying off everywhere. You have trees that are being affected by the electromagnetic frequencies. Because of you have Agenda 21, so now you can see the whole picture. If we take it even further to the fluoride in the water, which was at the end of the Second World War, with the government sent Charles Eliot Perkins, who was a research worker in chemistry, biochemistry, physiology, and pathology, to take charge of the Farben chemical plants in Germany. That's IG Farben, if you go on and you look at the history between IG Farben. He was told there was the chemists had a scheme which would be worked out by the war and the German general staff, and that was to control the population in any given area through mass medication of drinking water. In this scheme, sodium fluoride occupied a prominent place. Now, Perkins came out later and said repeated doses of infinitesimal amounts of fluoride will, in time, reduce an individual's power to resist domination by slowly poisoning and narcotizing a certain area of the brain that will then make them submissive to the will of those who wish to govern them. Both the Germans and the Russians added sodium fluoride to the drinking water of prisoners of war to make them stupid and docile. What the adding of the fluoride component has to do with this whole EMF thing is it's all about being able to transmit frequencies through the pineal gland and to be able to turn off, turn on your immune system. If you look at what the pineal gland does, there's actually a crystal in everybody's pineal gland. I mean, that's been proven, and you can, through autopsies of people, they can determine your spirituality level. Just they dissected pineal glands of monks, and they found bigger crystals in the pineal glands of monks than they do normal individuals. So by increasing the halogens, the bromine, the chlorines, the fluorides into the water supply, into the food supply, it creates a calcification of the pineal gland, and it alters the pineal gland so the pineal gland doesn't function and operate effectively. Well, guess what? The pineal gland also produces melatonin. And melatonin is used to help with your gene sequences, to help repair the DNA in your body. So if you look at all of these things and what the general scheme of things is, the insiders that we've talked about, and Alex has talked about this many times, is what is the grand end game, or what is that they're going to do? What is this disease X? What is this biological warfare? With the introduction of the 5G and everything that's going on, the calcification of the pineal gland, the lack of production of the melatonin so you can repair your genes, all of that is leading to what I think, and controlling the oxygen, is it's going to be very easy to introduce and control a biological weapon and then be able to force vaccinate the whole population. Now, the forced vaccination, in my opinion and in my theory, is going to contain the nanoparticles, the chips, the bioactivators.
The final binary weapon.
They will be able to then go cross the blood-brain barrier, because we know the electromagnetic frequencies now, because of that study with the methylene blue, opened up the blood-brain barrier and made the gut lining permeable. So if you're able to inject a vaccination, whether it's, forced vaccinations, they might even put it in food. Who knows how it's going to go down, but there's got to be a method. They're already doing it with the nanoparticles.
Well, here's the bottom line. They admit it's massively causing cancer. They admit they're using it to influence our minds. They admit they're watching us. They admit it's all illegal. They're telling us they're doing it. Why are they telling us?
They have to, because it works off of the negative power with the elite that are the Satan worshipers and everything.
It's a giant sacrifice.
Because of the karmic debt ratio thing that they have going on, if they tell people what they're doing, they're not necessarily responsible.
And they
for
say that esoterically.
Debt. So they have
again, folks, the media will say we believe this. It's what they believe. I got to do. This gets me so upset because I'm looking at all the news articles. I have the studies. I've talked to the globalist. I know the plan. The name of this big 5G company is the goddess of baby girls, and it's a uterus upside down. And we know that this fries eggs. It fries sperm particularly because it rubs the molecules together. It's a microwave. It heats them up.
Well, if you have a document cam right here on Artemis, is one of the big 5G companies. Artemis is is doing all the improved 5G. And if you look at the logo of Artemis, it's an inverted ovary. I mean, this would be like a woman's reproductive tract, and this would...
Yeah, you've got the two ovaries on top, and then it goes down into the uterus and then into the vagina.
Yes.
But instead, it's inverted like a pentagram. But, you were just saying that. But what does Artemis mean? Let's go further.
Oh, Artemis is known as the Greek goddess of childbirth and the protectress of the girl child. So let's go ahead and make that our logo and knock out fertility with
it's a pentagram.
5G.
Again, the pentacle is the symbol of the human, the head, the arms, the legs. You invert it, it means down with mankind. The Satanists are down with creation, down with God's creation. This is a pentagram, and they and again, they say, oh, we're named after the goddess of female children, the protector of female children. They're attacking, and then again, I'm not saying this company even knows it, whoever designed it. The point is 5G, they admit, annihilates the eggs.
That's right. And then if you look at Apple's new $5 billion headquarters in California, this is a bizarre layout. It's a $5 billion new facility. This is the schematic of a human egg being fertilized by a sperm node, except down here below you can see the actual real egg. But this is very unique that Apple would be building, considering the fact that they still put their antennas on the back of their iPads or their infertility pads.
And you can see everything they say they're trying to stop, they're trying to do. And the environmentalists don't care. They just hate humans. But this whole thing's killing everybody. And it's like it's not even human. Well, it's a fallen angel. It's the devil. It's the only thing that makes sense. This is an anti-human exterminus agenda, and it's told its minions, the humans that have sold out to it, you'll live forever, but you're going to give up your body and merge with a machine. I mean, come on. That con game is so obviously ridiculous, and we got told 2,000 years ago this was coming by the good guys. And I cannot believe we're going to sit here and put up with this crap. Everybody's in this trance.
This is cell phone radiation. And this is your brain on cell phone radiation. Any questions? This message is brought to you by Infowars.com in the hope that you'll save yourself. But even if you won't, you'll save your children from the dangers of cell phone radiation.